What is up, everybody? CP and SJ with you for another round of picks here from every day we're covering. And we've got a lot to talk about here this upcoming weekend, football wise, because we're going to get into the NFL playoffs, which we're going to talk about here with picks first. And then we will also be pushing out a video with some picks from the CFP championship coming up on Monday as well. So if you're a football fan, not a bad weekend. You got, four games here in the NFL to cleanse your palate and then get ready for a title bout there in the college ranks. We're okay with that, SJ.
Well, yeah, as far as I can tell, it looks like no streaming will be required, so we don't have to worry about that. You can jump over to your NBC or whatever. Oh no, yep, we're good. CBS or Paramount Plus, so we're good. We're covered. You don't have to go searching and downloading and signing in, nothing like that. So yeah, it should be a good weekend of football, and it'll be fun to try our hand a little NFL. I know from time to time we'll throw a tweet out here or there with our picks, but kind of zeroed in a little more this weekend, and let's see how things turn out with that.
Yeah. No Tubi TV required here this weekend. We're going to get into the NFL divisional round here, the playoffs, and it should be some interesting games, really. I think we've got a pretty good slate here. I'm a couple of them I'm not real 100% positive how it's going to go, but we're going to take a stab at some picks here for you. We'll start off here with taking a look at them just by a sequential order, so when you're going to be able to see them. So we get started with the Buffalo Bills getting to take on the Denver Broncos. And of course, I guess some folks might have had their trepidation last week with Buffalo being able to, get by, but they got it done. They, just kind of did what they needed to there against Jacksonville and get into this game. Denver obviously has looked very strong throughout the year. They've played really well. I mean, there's no reason, I guess, that anybody should write them off. But right now, they're just a 1-point favorite at home here in this game. And I think that speaks a lot to the experience that you see from that Buffalo side.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, especially being at home and seeing that just standard, you're usually getting a couple 3 points just to be the home team. So there's a bit of uncertainty, I think, from, the book side feeling confident. But I mean, as far as the resume goes, I mean, it's not, they've done about it as much as you can do. I mean, Denver's looked pretty solid all year. I know and the thing with them too is they're kind of they play an ugly brand of ball, if you want to call it that. Like they win, but it's not like you're like, oh man, they don't look amazing. They look at their record and like, oh man, they got 13 wins or whatever they end up having. So you're kind of like astounded that they ended up being that good just because, or 14, excuse me. You watch them and then you're just like, they don't look that good, but not only 3 teams have been able to beat them. So that factors in too. And I do think also there's that the prevailing thought, which it may end up being the case of, it's kind of Josh Allen's time. It's his time. This is his year. This is his opportunity. It's his chance to do something there. And I think that's definitely going to play into how the game plays out. I think Buffalo might take some chances, and they're already willing to, go for it on 4th down, maybe and kind of been backed up a little bit and take some chances. But that might even be more so the case in this one, because I do think they, whether they admit it or not, they feel like they have a window, but they also may not have the Buffalo teams that may have been better, but this team has a better route to win it all, I think.
Yeah. 3:30 game on CBS. The picks I'm going to go with here in this game, I'm going to go with Buffalo. Depending on where you look right now, I'm seeing 1 or 1.5, but I got them at getting 1. I think they're going to win this game just because of those two kind of thoughts, I guess. I just don't trust Denver in this situation yet. And they've been close in some games that I thought that they shouldn't have been as well. Now, granted, like you said, they won most of them, so you should give them credit for that. But and yeah, I feel like I thought last round Josh Allen was going to kind of put on the cape and carry the team, and I think he's going to try to do that as best he can here again in this one. And that plays off of my other play that I'm going to go with it as well. I think he scores at some point. I mean, obviously they're very, very willing to use him when they get close to the goal line. And I think there's going to be a point in this game where that's the case and he'll find a way to get himself into the end zone. So that's where I'm going. Bills to win it and Allen to get a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm going on the offensive side of things as well, as far as looking at that total. I know neither teams, especially just talked about Denver, but even Buffalo, compared to what they have been in recent seasons, you're not going to be like, oh man, these teams are explosive. They're going to light up the scoreboard. But at least when I made the play and the book I was going for was just 45.5. That even by NFL standards, it seems to me on the low end. I think we could probably get there. a 27-24 type of game like Buffalo played last week. Could easily see that with a few turnovers here and there, and just talk about how the game plays out. As far as Denver's, the strength of their defense, of course, is there, but when you look at the quarterback play, it's just I mean, you gotta be a little bit concerned there if you're a Denver fan. So my other prop I'm gonna look more at it is from their running game and go with Harvey to get anytime touchdown. He's obviously led the team in carries most of the way, and other than the last couple of weeks, he's been trouble finding the end zone. But he had a stretch of a 4-game stretch scoring 5 touchdowns, and he was getting 10 plus carries a game. So he's probably going to get at least a sniff of the end zone. So I like those odds of him finding there at least once, and that kind of going towards being a little bit of a if you want to call it a high scoring game for teams of this nature.
Yeah. So then the evening game on Saturday will be in the NFC at 7:00 as the 49ers go on the road to take on the Seahawks, televised on Fox. What are you looking at here in this one, SJ?
Man, it's kind of the same deal with Seattle. 3 weeks ago, I'm like, hold up, they have a chance for the division. You hear that talk, and you're like, what is going on here? I mean, you talk about under the radar. Yeah. No one's talking about them. They didn't. I mean, and that's kind of the way as a coach in the team you want the season to play out, where no one's, maybe people are overlooking you or just not. You're not getting all the headlines, but you're just kind of doing your thing week after week. And same thing there. They're a 14-win team. With all that said, man, I don't know. Like San Francisco seems like they've been really snake bitten with all these injuries and that sort of thing. But I do think they've kind of shown the ability to overcome. There's talks of maybe Fred Warner making an appearance. Who knows? That'd be wild. You see him out there with all the videos and is looking like his old self. Who knows? I don't know if that will happen. But in any case, I mean, him being around's got to be another motivational factor there. And just I just think they've shown a lot of I know Detroit grit was their thing a couple seasons ago, right? That's San Francisco this season. They've fought their lot to have a pretty good year. With all that said, I don't know if I could go as far to pick them to win, but that 7-point spread there, I do like them to play within that number. So I could definitely see him losing by a field goal or a little bit more than that, but I think they'll stay within a touchdown. So I'll go ahead and play that. And along those lines, if they're going to do that, we know who's going to need to find the end zone. And he did so last week against the Eagles in a couple of that I don't know if you saw that the Jennings pass, the kind of trick play reverse pass where that was a amazing catch by McCaffrey because he had to throw it, but it wasn't like just a lot of times when you do those trick plays, like you're just standing all alone and you kind of do the old school gut catch. But no, he over the shouldered it, dove in, and so we're gonna need McCaffrey to find the end zone at least once this game. And I think that's a pretty not going out too far there, and we can maybe feel a little get a book with some good action there, and then kind of do a 2-leg parlay there with those two. I think you'll be doing okay.
Yeah. I didn't make an official play on this one just because I'm really confused on what I think is going to happen in this game. And it's because of what you said, all those injuries, it's like, it makes it a little questionable, but yeah, I think there's also that, kind of just fighting for your life kind of mentality that they have. And I do agree with that, staying within the number pick. I like that as well, staying within that 7. But yeah, Seahawks haven't been on prime time. A lot of people haven't seen them play really this year. So it's going to be interesting when they get that stage. Moving on to Sunday, then we go to the AFC for the first game again, 2:00 in the afternoon as the Texans are at the Patriots. 3.5 point favorite for the Pats right now. 40.5 right now is what I'm seeing for the total. It's no secret I like this Texans team. I think they just have the right way that they play to be able to get through situations that aren't always great. People are going to rag on the offense and rag on Stroud a little bit, and rightfully so in some moments. He needs to make more plays, but their defense is so damn good that they give themselves a chance a lot. The Pats have played really well, and obviously their offense has been, cooking pretty good there with May, but they haven't faced a defense that's going to be this reckless, I don't think, especially the way they're playing right now with this Texans team. So I like Texans to stay within that. I got it at +3, so I'm going to take them to cover that number. And they may very well win the game. I would not be surprised by that. And then I'm also going to go sticking with that defensive theme. You got to feel like this Texans team's again going to get back there and get a few sacks in this game. I would think over 3 is pretty likely for them as a team. And then you get a few from the other side. It's a little bit high. I wish it was at 5.5, but I got a prop for the total sacks in the game to be over 6.5. So I'm going to ride with that. It's plus money at plus 100, so it gives you a little juice there. So I'm going to go with that one as well. I think the defenses get in there and wreak some havoc.
I mean, yeah, as good as the defenses have been, and I agree with you there. I guess I'm offense caught my eye when I was looking at these numbers. I don't know what it is. I keep looking at these picks. I'm like, man, I need to. I guess I think it's going to be an offensive. I've been watching the college game too much, but I mean, these ones are a little bit lower in nature. So we're going a little bit yardage props here, and both on the Patriots side. So I guess if you're a Patriots fan, you might want to maybe combine this with that spread or something of that nature. But I'm going to go with Travion Henderson to get 40 plus rushing yards. So 41 and above, what we're cooking there, and I think it's been since like last end of October. Only like one time he hasn't eclipsed that mark, and he's usually more towards mid high 60s to the low 80s, something like that. So and then along the lines of the offense, with even though I mean that's definitely the strength, the way the Patriots play defense is no mistake about it. I mean both teams honestly, but looking at the Patriots, but when they do make a play here or there, it's either Hunter Henry or Diggs is the main target. So I'm going to go with Diggs here to get 50 receiving yards or more. So a couple of props there, just not you're not going to get some heavy juice on either of these, but you combine them and then maybe put them with you like a spread or one way or the other on the total, and you can maybe get yourself a nice little parlay there. But I like those props to hit. Just Patriots have been a sneaky decent offense. Like they're not going to wow you, but they put together some drives here and there where you're like, man, they actually there's some pieces to work with here, and I think that will probably show up in this case. But as far as how the game goes, I can see it going either way, and I think this could end up being one of the better games of the weekend, despite the helmets. You throw that out the window because these teams they're playing about as well as anybody at this point in time.
Yeah, you're right. And yeah, those aren't crazy numbers to get to, even if the Texans are playing good defense. So yeah, I like that too. Going to the evening session then at 5:30 on Sunday, we've got the Rams at the Bears. This will be an NBC broadcast. Right now I'm seeing the Rams as a 4-point favorite, that total at 48.5. SJ, what are you peeking at on this one?
Well, I think we're going to see kind of that repeat of that Sunday night game a few weeks ago, where it's just going to be, the air raid type thing. I know it's not as late, but these quarterbacks, it's both. I mean, Rams not maybe more so on the Bears defensive side, a little bit more complete, but these teams are this to me. This is a wild of me to go offense because those quarterbacks are not only like talented. It's just when they get in these moments, it's like you need 10 points in a minute and a half. No problem. Just give me the ball back, defense. And both of them are going to do it. So that's why it's, I'm going to go Stafford to get 250 plus passing yards throughout the whole game. So, he's got plenty of time to get there. And then Williams over 1.5 passing touchdowns. So a couple passing TDs, and doesn't matter who. We're just going to go with the overs on that total. So that one was, I believe I plus money or close to it on that one in the book I looked at. So that gave me a little pause. But I find it hard to just the Rams they've outscored people. That's just kind of always been their thing, and especially this year, they're not going to shut you down and then score 40. They're going to score 40, and you're probably going to have 38 or hopefully, if you're a Bears fan, 41 in this case. So I think it's going to be a fun way to end the weekend. I don't know if it'll be like your traditional slobber knocker NFL playoff type of game, but I think it will be entertaining nonetheless.
Yeah, it should be a good one. There have been a couple of head scratchers for the Rams late in the season that give you a little bit of pause, but
Arizona game, that was they almost blew. That was real close to getting away from them.
Mm-hmm. But I still think though that they are the more well-rounded team here, and I think that kind of, I don't know, that magic that's been there for the Bears here lately, I just feel like it runs out in this moment. I think that it's going to be close. And like you said, I think it's going to be a really fun game, but I do think the Rams win it, and I think they win it by a score. So I'm going to go Rams to cover that -4 to win the game. And then I'm going to go Kyron Williams anytime touchdown scorer as well. That was a little bit of plus money on him as well. But, as much as Stafford throws it around, he does catch the ball some. Obviously, the workhorse back they're going to give it to if they're close. So I like that one to hit as well. So that's where I'm going to go to finish that off. That's our NFL divisional round picks here for the weekend. Obviously, we're always just kind of giving you our thoughts here between the two of us. Mix and match however you like, or whatever you want to do. You want to put some of those games together to string some things along, or just a few of them that you like at the same time. There's lots of ways to do it, and depending on what book you use, lots of ways to allow you to do it too. So I hope you have some fun with it, and hopefully we'll get some good football to watch here this weekend as well. We'd love it if you like, subscribe, get the notifications on this YouTube channel for our picks whenever they come at you, usually each and every week for something throughout the year. And then also, if you would like, subscribe, get the notifications for the podcast, whatever major platform you like to use. Just search up Every Day We're Covering and you'll find us. And then, of course, follow us on social media. You see the handles there. We're on Twitter, and you can interact and see our picks and make your suggestions for plays as well. All right, that's going to do it for the NFL Divisional Round picks here for 2026. That's S.J. Munoz. I'm Chris Parks. We'll see you next time for some more covers.